Hey guys, here to do a movie review. Can't really talk right now. Sorry, my hair is messed up. My little cousin is over today, and all I have done today is watch movie after movie. I watched 3 Star Wars movies. I watched Napoleon Dynamite, Christmas Vacation, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Toy Story 3. I've watched so much stuff today, and I'm just so tired. I thought I'd do this review. The movie is John Carpenter's Christine. Now, I don't know if I did an update video or not, but I bought this and a couple other things. If I haven't done an update video, I'll be sure to do one. This is John Carpenter's Christine. Basically, after the failure of his movie The Thing, when it originally came out, he was looking for work. And he decided, people say he decided to do this because he wanted money. And when you watch the interviews that he did about this movie, it's true, he did do it for money. And so people think that it doesn't have like his touch in it, but it does. It has some John Carpenter touches to it. Christine is about Arnie Cunningham. He's a nerd. He's the typical high school nerd, and his best friend is a high school jockey. So a very unlikely pair. Arnie Cunningham's life just is not going well for him. He gets bullied. He has parents that are very controlling. One day, him and his best friend are driving in their car, and they go past this old man's house who has this old, beat-up 1958 Plymouth Fury in his front yard for sale. It's red, and he calls it Christine. And Christine, as we later find out, is a very extraordinary car. Arnie starts to build it up and fix it up and everything, and his personality starts to change. He starts to dress, like someone from the 50s. He starts to develop an attitude, and he, starts, being bad to his parents, and he starts, getting he gets a hot girlfriend. And, strange things start to happen with Christine. He takes his girlfriend on a date, and the girlfriend is scared of Christine. And then she ends up choking on a hamburger in this car, and she ends up almost dying, and she doesn't want to go inside Christine ever again. We later find out that the previous owner had killed himself in this car. And so we are led to believe that it is possessed by this man. And so basically, later in the movie, the bullies that like to bully Arnie a lot end up trashing Christine, just trashing it to death. And so, Christine magically is repaired, like the next day. And Christine starts to hunt down and kill all the members of this gang. Now, in the movie anyway, when we see Christine apparently driving on her own, the windows are blacked out. Now the reason is because of course somebody had to be driving the car, and there was a stuntman in the car so he could drive. What's really weird is they could have done this because, again, this movie came out in 1983. There's a movie called The Love Bug, and it came out in like 1963 or 64. What they did, because of course Herbie, that's his name, had to drive on his own, they had a stuntman sitting in the back of the car, in the rear seat, hunched down low, and they modified steering stuff to do it in the back of the car, to do it in the back seat, and you couldn't see the driver. They could have easily done that with this movie. Maybe it was just budgetary reasons, I don't know. But if Disney could do it in the 60s, I'm sure they could do it in the 80s. Anyway, we were kind of led to believe that, is Christine really doing it on her own? Is it Arnie driving Christine? And so, people end up dying, and Arnie and Christine are suspected killers. And while at the very end of the movie, his best friend and his girlfriend decide that Christine needs to be destroyed. They need to save Arnie from Christine. So there's this big showdown at the end of the movie, and we see Arnie driving Christine, behind the wheel, looking all possessed, and he ends up dying. in Christine. So there is a moment at the very end of the movie, do we actually know for sure that Christine is driving on her own? So really, up until this point, we were kind of led to believe, did Christine drive the car on her own, or was it Arnie in it? I mean, I think we all know that Christine, the whole point of Christine is that the car was driving on its own. But, they end up destroying Christine, and that's the end of the movie. This says right on here, John Carpenter's best since Halloween. Do I think this is better than Halloween? No, I don't think this is better than Halloween. It's still a good entry into his career, though. It's very, it's not, I don't really think of this as a horror movie. It's a really good period piece, though. Like a nice 50s era. Well, more like 70s era. But really good movie. Again, as with all the John Carpenter movies, the music is amazing. He is like the master of synth music. He has this magic using, synthesizers and keyboards. Like all of the music that, like, especially like in The Thing, Halloween, or this, or The Fog. When the killer or the menacing presence is around, you always hear this, like, it's like a rhythm. It's like a low bum, bum, bum. That's what they hear in The Thing. It's like a low bass, like, rhythm that's mixed in with the melody. And that happens when you see, like, the famous, the Shape Stalks Lori theme in Halloween, or the music that you hear when you see the fog in The Fog. But really good music. Based on the book by Stephen King. Never read the book. I've heard it's okay. It's not one of his best. This movie has Harry Dean Stanton, who is also in Escape from New York. And the guy that plays the old man that sells Christine, he was in a movie in the 70s called Deranged. Deranged is based off of the Ed Gein story. Ed Gein spawned like Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then I think there's a movie called Gein. So his story, he's a pretty fucked up guy. But Christine, very good John Carpenter movie. John Carpenter is an amazing director. I mean, he does a lot of cool stuff with, like, the low budgets that he had. And almost all of his movies have become cult classics through home video. Pretty much every single one of his movies, excluding like Halloween and Escape from New York, were failures at the box office. But over time, they became classics. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it isn't. But I've heard that he is developing a new movie. It's a Western. I read it on Wikipedia, but of course on Wikipedia not everything is reliable on there. But he said that the reason it hasn't been picked up is because it's hard for a Western to get made today, and it kind of is. You don't really see that many Westerns made anymore. But that's Christine. Really good John Carpenter movie. And if I haven't posted my update video with my new DVDs, I'll do that later. But I'll see you guys later.